So another Love Island couple bites the dust. Shocking, right? Said absolutely no one ever. But here's the thing. When Chelley Bissainthe sat down with Page 6 Radio on Friday to spill the tea about her breakup with Ace Greene, something fell off. Like really off. The kind of off that makes you pause mid-scroll and think, wait, what aren't they telling us? Because when a reality TV couple who survived Casa Amor, multiple recouplings, and literally getting their entire relationship broadcasted to millions suddenly can't handle real life. Yeah, we're going to need more details than mutual respect, and it's for the best. Welcome to Pop Showroom, where we read between the PR approved lines. Stick around, because this breakup story has more holes than Ace's game plan in the villa. Let's get into it. On Friday, December 13th, 2024, Love Island USA Season 7 fan favorite Chelley Bissainthe did what every reality star does when a relationship ends. She went straight to the media. During an exclusive sit-down with SiriusXM's Page 6 Radio, the 28-year-old dropped the bomb that everyone kind of saw coming, but also didn't want to believe. She and 23-year-old Ace Greene, the couple that had viewers actually believing in Love Island romance, were done. Over. Finished. Ace and I actually decided to part ways, Chelley announced, using the kind of carefully rehearsed language that screams someone definitely helped her prep for this interview. She continued with the classic breakup script. It really was a tough decision for the both of us, and very hard to decide. But you know, when you love someone, sometimes loving someone means letting go. Okay, pause. Let's unpack that for a second. Sometimes loving someone means letting go. That's the kind of thing people say when they're trying really hard to sound mature about something that probably wasn't mature at all. That's Instagram caption energy. That's, I need to look like the bigger person energy. And here's where it gets interesting. Chelley and Ace weren't just any Love Island couple. They were the couple of Season 7. Viewers watched them form a genuine connection from day one. They survived challenges that broke other couples. They made it through Casa Amor, which is basically the relationship Hunger Games of reality TV. They were so solid that even after the show ended and cameras stopped rolling, fans were convinced they'd actually make it. So what changed? What happened between leaving a tropical villa where your only job is to look hot and flirt, and entering the real world that's so catastrophic it ends a relationship that survived literally being tested on national television? Chelley says it was real-world pressures. But she won't say what those pressures actually were. Convenient. Now here's where things start feeling scripted in a way that makes you wonder what the real story is. Chelley told Page 6 Radio that the breakup didn't happen overnight, and that both she and Ace were committed to communicating openly before choosing to part ways. She emphasized multiple times that it was a mutual agreement, and that they had a lot of conversations. Mutual. That word came up a lot. Like suspiciously, a lot. We had a lot of conversations, she explained. At the end of the day, it was just a mutual agreement of like, this is for the best. Here's the thing about breakups. When they're truly mutual, people don't usually go on radio shows to announce them with perfectly polished talking points. When both people genuinely agree it's over, there's usually a joint statement on Instagram, maybe some cryptic stories, and then radio silence. But a whole exclusive interview where one person does all the talking? Where every answer sounds like it was workshopped by a PR team. Where the explanation is somehow both really long and says absolutely nothing. Yeah, that's not mutual. That's damage control. And before you think I'm being too harsh, consider this. Chelley admitted she thought about the fans who supported them. I've definitely thought about our supporters, our fans and stuff, she said. But I'll trust that they'll understand that this decision needed to be made. Translation. Please don't come for me in the comments, because I know you're about to. Let's talk about what Chelley specifically refused to discuss. The actual reasons for the breakup. When pressed about what led to the split, Chelley got real vague real fast. A lot happens in relationships. People can understand that, she said, which is code for, I'm not telling you anything. She continued, I think out of respect for the both of us, the details aren't really necessary. Okay, but here's the problem with that logic. You went on a reality dating show. You let cameras film your first kiss, your arguments, your makeups, your entire relationship journey. You built a fan base, specifically because people invested in your story. And now suddenly when it ends, the details aren't necessary out of respect? That doesn't add up. What it does sound like is someone protecting a narrative. Or protecting someone. Or both. And here's the twist that nobody's talking about yet. Remember, Chelley is 28 and Ace is 23. That's a 5-year age gap, which isn't huge, but when one person is barely out of college and the other is approaching 30, you're in very different life stages. Could it be that simple? That Ace, at 23, wasn't ready for whatever Chelley needed at 28? That the real-world pressures were actually just life goals that didn't align? Career ambitions? Where to live? Whether to actually commit long-term or just ride the reality TV fame wave? We don't know because Chelley won't say. But the silence is loud. Subscribe prompt. And speaking of things that are loud, if you're enjoying this breakdown and want more reality TV tea served with actual analysis, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button right now. We're just getting to the good part, and you don't want to miss what happens next. Trust me, despite all the vague non-answers, Chelley did make one thing very clear. The relationship was real. Like she really wanted everyone to know it was real. Our relationship, from the very beginning, our understanding was our relationship wasn't for the press, for the media, or anything, she insisted. It was because I truly love you, you truly love me. Interesting choice to say that in an exclusive media interview announcing your breakup, but okay. She continued, but challenges happen in relationships. And sometimes you just want to be able to say, you know what, let's leave it right here before it turns into something it never needs to be. Like, we can leave off with light and love before it turns into something it never needs to be. Now, that's a loaded statement. What exactly would it have turned into if they hadn't broken up? Toxic? Messy? Public? A tabloid nightmare? Because here's what that phrasing suggests. Things were heading somewhere bad. Maybe they were already there. And instead of working through it or letting the public see the cracks, they decided to pull the plug while they could still control the narrative. That's not mutual growth and understanding. That's strategic exit planning. So where does this leave everyone involved? According to Chelley, she's entering her healing era. Honestly, this whole process is going to come with a lot of healing, a lot of growth, a lot of time with myself, she told Page 6 Radio. So I would just love that privacy and be able to focus on myself going forward. Privacy. From the woman who just gave an exclusive interview about her breakup. The irony is not lost. But here's what's actually interesting. The way Chelley talks about Ace now sounds less like an ex-boyfriend and more like a life lesson. We are put on this earth to experience people, she reflected. Sometimes we want it to last a lifetime, and sometimes it's for that moment in time. That's the kind of thing you say about a summer fling or a situationship. Not about someone you coupled up with on national television and stayed with for months after. Not about someone you claimed to truly love just sentences earlier. It's giving, it was fun while it lasted energy. It's giving we were never really that serious vibes. Which again contradicts everything we saw on the show and everything both of them said during season 7. So what's the truth? Were they actually in love and real-world problems destroyed them? Or were they playing the game, riding the post-show fame wave, and decided to jump ship once the attention started fading? Here's what we can piece together from reading between the lines and connecting dots that Chelley very carefully didn't connect for us. First, this breakup happened recently. Like very recently. The way she talks about needing healing, and time suggests this isn't something that ended weeks ago. This is fresh. Second, based on her emphasis on mutual respect and not letting things turn ugly, there was probably a moment where things almost did get ugly. People don't repeatedly stress that everything is peaceful unless there was a real risk of it not being peaceful. Third, and this is pure speculation, but hear me out, the age gap and life stage difference probably played a bigger role than either of them wants to admit. Chelley is 28 and living in Los Angeles, trying to build something beyond reality TV. Ace is 23 and probably still figuring out what he even wants to do with the attention he got from the show. That's a recipe for incompatibility, no matter how much chemistry you have in a villa. Fourth, the lack of specifics, combined with the emphasis on privacy, suggests there might be someone else involved. Not necessarily cheating, but maybe one of them caught feelings for someone new or realized they wanted to explore other options. That would explain the "let's end this before it gets messy" approach. And finally, the whole thing feels coordinated. Chelley doing an exclusive interview without Ace making any statement, yet suggests they have an agreement about how to handle this publicly. That level of coordination doesn't happen in messy breakups. It happens in breakups where both parties have something to protect, like their public image, or future opportunities in reality TV. So what's the final verdict on Chelley and Ace's breakup? Here's what we know for sure. They're done. She announced it exclusively to Page 6 Radio. She says it was mutual and for the best. She won't give details out of respect. She wishes him well. She's focusing on healing. And here's what we're pretty sure is actually true. The relationship probably ran its course faster than either expected once real life kicked in. The pressures of maintaining a public relationship while trying to build individual careers in entertainment got overwhelming. The age and life stage difference became impossible to ignore. And rather than let things get messy or damage their public images, they decided to exit strategically with a PR-friendly narrative about mutual respect and personal growth. Is that cynical? Maybe. But this is reality TV we're talking about. The same industry that literally profits off manufactured drama and carefully edited storylines. The same world where breakups are announced with exclusive interviews and Instagram statements that read like press releases. Chelley and Ace gave us a good show on Love Island Season 7. They seemed genuine. They probably were genuine in the moment. But moments end. Reality sets in. And sometimes the best thing you can do is craft a clean exit story before the truth gets messy. We wish them both the best. We hope Chelley gets her healing. We hope Ace figures out his next move. And we hope that someday, maybe in a few years, when the NDAs expire and the PR concerns fade, one of them writes a tell-all book that actually explains what happened. Until then, we're left with carefully worded statements, suspicious silences, and the lingering question of what really went wrong between two people who seemed perfect together just a few months ago. If you made it this far, you already know the drill. Hit that subscribe button because we're breaking down all the reality TV drama that everyone else is too polite to question. Give this video a thumbs up if you appreciate the real analysis. And drop a comment telling me what you think actually happened between Chelley and Ace, because I know you have theories. Do you buy the mutual respect narrative? Or do you think there's way more to this story? Let me know below. Thanks for watching Pop Showroom. See you in the next one, where we'll probably be covering another Love Island breakup, because let's be real, it's only a matter of time.